Well, here I am. Better late than never, I guess. This is the 29th of October, and I've seen a lot of good bucks killed this October. So much for that October lull. I think those people that killed those nice bucks, I just seen a real nice 10-pointer yesterday at Casey's. And too much work and not enough time for hunting, but that's beside the point. You can see my stand back there. And I'll be sitting there. That's my all-day stand. And we're on two travel corridors, and they come together. Here's the main trail right here. And the shot that will happen here is no more than 22 yards to that stand. And what makes this so conducive to this situation is, and I keep trying to tell people this, I can sit that stand all day and probably never get winded, because as I pan around, the wind will be coming out of the northwest. The wind will be coming right into my face, be going into that stand and out of the woods. And here's the funnel effect. As you see, there's a deep ravine here. They're not going to go through that unless they're chased. And you can see the deer tracks here. They funnel right through here, right through this trail. And they have to funnel up here and go on down that way. Now it's going south. But as you can see, there's my stand. If I have a west wind, southwest wind, or northwest wind, all my scent will be going to the east. And we just came down a main trail, and over here is about, no more than 10 yards away, is a secondary trail, and that puts them even closer to the tree stand. Now we're at 10 yards, trail coming right down here. I know a lot of you so-called self-proclaimed experts would be saying, what are you walking around in your woods for? Well, we got about a 90% chance of snow again tonight, and any scent that I leave here is going to be dissipated in that 1.5 inches of snow as it melts away. As I can show you over here, we had some snow last night. You can still see that snow remaining on those trees over there, those deadfall. That's snow, that's not white paint. So it's still rather cool. It might be 40, but we're just getting set up. And like I said, I just wanted to go over the logistics. We're going to see a lot of deer traverse through here, and I'll have it on camera. And like I say, this is my all-day setup. I don't use any scent control other than cow shit, no commercial bullshit. And I'm hunting, and today is important because I want to come up through here. Like I say, I've been loaded with work, which is a good thing, thanks to Donald Trump. I think I'll vote Democrat this year, or 2020, so I don't have to work as hard, because I lived through Jimmy Carter, and I know what that was. Couldn't buy gas on the weekend, nobody could buy a car, nobody could buy a house. But if you had a lot of money, you made a lot of money because the interest rate was so high. Enough of politicking, let's get on down here looking for a deer sign. Like I say, we're setting on a funnel right there, a natural funnel. As we come up here, not too far away, we're real time here. We're no more than 45 yards away from that tree stand, and you see that big travel corridor, traditional rub right there. Yeah, there's that rub, and I'm going to pan right around here. Right in that direction is another rub that I can see, and we'll walk down there and I'll see how far it was. Yeah, that's 41 steps from that other rub. And this is going straight north and south. Down there pretty soon I'm going to come to another pinch point, and I set a trail camera up on there 2 weeks ago. So like I say, I like where these places wash out. There's another rub right there. We'll go down to this pinch point where I set that trail camera up and pull the card. And to me, this is hunting. Sitting in a green fiberglass kaibo on a so-called kill plot. I guess that's the future. And it was like the Beatles with long hair. Everybody thought the world was going to hell in a handbasket. But so each generation is going to have their own form of hunting. And there goes a deer right there. Just seen a white flag running up through there, which it doesn't bother me none, because like I said, this is hunting, and that snow is going to come in here tonight and hopefully delete any scent that was left behind that I hunt. Here's that crossing. You can see that deep ravine. So here's a pinch point that you want to look for. It'd be a beautiful place to set a stand up. I don't know why I haven't got a stand set here, other than I like to be back a little farther. And so much for my camera. You can see what happened to it. Got knocked off, lopsided. Well, that's good to know. At least it might have took some pictures, I don't know. But they'll be cockeyed, about like me. What I was looking for. Now, I just pulled that camera, and that little tree behind that big tree was where I had the camera. But look what's up in front of us. Pretty good sized scrape. So, we're in a pretty good area. Oh yeah. And this is the fun part to me about hunting. I mean, that's a big scrape. I mean, so I'm going to set this camera up here, and now that we know where the funnel is, and right down there is another leg-sized rub. So I don't know what, I wish that camera wouldn't have got kicked off that tree cockeyed like that. There's that wash. And that's what you beginners or new people in bow hunting want to look for, is crossings like that. That funnel, they're not going to jump over that ditch. And I've went over this before. I want to walk down here. I want to show you why. This ditch is like a wall. As you can see, they're not going to, well, shotgun hunters would have probably get jumped at if they had to. Another little scrape right there. Well, what they do was traverse. What they do is they traverse that trail right there, and that's taking them right back south to where I'm set up at. So I'm not set up exactly on the scrape, but I'm not that far away. I'm on the main drag. So let's get this camera set up and see what materializes. Oh, we got the camera on the tree. And like I say, I enjoy just finding this stuff and then getting trail cam pictures. As you know, I thoroughly enjoy shed antler hunting. And if I get trail cam photos of the deer and I find a shed later in the year, that's much more. But here's that big rub. Not too far away. And like I say, I wish I'd seen sign like this in Canada when I moose hunt. But you don't see sign like that. Look at the size of that rub. And that's a traditional rub. That's been there for years. That tree's almost rubbed in two. And then we got another one just up here. Main trail going down through there. Another rub. Wow, they're working. This is, and I've said this time and time again, this is what hunting is about. And that youth season, yeah, if you want to kill a doe, that's fine. Learn how to field dress it. Possibly, you know, sharpen your skill. But the dumbing down the hunters so bad now today that they're not even going to know how to scout. You got these so-called blow staff people telling people to stay out of your woods. They're out of their mind. How are you going to know what's in your woods? You that paranoid? I guarantee you, the only way you're going to see the sign is if you go in the woods. But I never had a fear of walking in the woods, and I really enjoy it because this is live time. October 29th, you can see there's another rub right here, and this is all, we're probably 150 yards away from that stand now, and this movement is totally north and south. We're coming down here to what I call Ellis's Restaurant, and this scrape's been here since that I know. I found it in August of 1995. It was really hot too that day, and I'm just going to see if it's opened up or anything, because it was been active every year since '95. So, but crop rotation and stuff like that, and the crop rotation is different. Oh my God! Look at that overhanging limb. Yeah, they've been working that limb. They moved the scrape a little bit. That's not, but the buck movement's still through here. And here's the camera over here. Now, I can show you, I got the limb. I used to tie limbs on there, and you can see the old zip ties and stuff. This was an old zip tie. So, some things don't change, but they didn't open the scrape up exactly under there. But maybe we got some deer on camera. I don't know how many trophy buck I've seen scraping at this tree right here. And I got the limb that the buck actually broke it off, and I didn't get anything hooked on there this year, but venture over here and I want to show you. Like I say, I found this in August of 1995, and so I don't know, was that 24 years now, 25? It's been a long time that they used this same corridor. With an old rub tree right here, and I can see they've rubbed it, and this just shows you This just shows you the history of your woods. Look at that. They've almost rubbed that tree so many years, almost completely through. But to me, and I can't emphasize this is deer hunting. You're out in your woods, you're investigating. You can see where the rack has got in there on that side of that big tree and took the bark off. But they've been rubbing that tree, I know, for 25 years. At Alice's Restaurant. You can see anything down here. Well, let's venture on down. And like I said, the reason I'm taking you along is I know there's going to be so many thumbs down and so many, what are you doing in the woods? Oh, I seen one doe run out of here. But without being in the woods, how are you going to know anything? And I want to venture down here and I'm going to show you something that I hunt traditionally. And it's a junction. And it works perfect on a southwest wind. Because there's a main trail going up through there. And then the other main trail. And they both coincide into this one trail. Well, with a southwest wind, especially on a cloudy evening, as I've traversed down here on this trail, by this trail, there's the main trail right there. And right over there, you can see that ladder stand. Now that's set up for an evening stand with a southwest wind. If you wanted to, you could venture down here in the morning and climb up in that. But that pasture could be covered up with deer. So that's up to the person. I have came down in the morning. I've had deer traverse down this trail and right past me. Because like I said, with the southwest wind, my wind's blowing out into that open pasture. And that's what you want it to do. And the deer are coming in, back in. Now there's a cornfield that was planted up here, and that's where they've been all night and coming back. So we're hunting in between the areas, and like I said, that's a deadly stand at nighttime. And here's a fence jump right here. You can see where they jumped the fence, and they jumped the fence right here. Here's numerous track and a lot of jumping going on right there. So, and like I said, the cornfield, we're not going to go over there, lack of time. That cornfield's over there about another 100 yards. Like I say, I hate scouting this late, but this is the time you got to scout, and scout in front of a storm. I like to be hunting, but my work schedule and the late, with all the rain and stuff, has kept me out of the dirt, and so it really makes it hard to get everything accomplished. But I got my stand set, I got my ladder stand set. That's there from last year. I'll check it all out and everything. So hope you learned a little bit from this. I'm not a know-it-all, but I know what works. And to me, the only thing missing in this video is my little grandson, because I'd love to show him them rubs. Now we're out in that open pasture where if you came down in the morning, the deer could be out here gallivanting around. And it's really easy to get in that ladder stand if you came down in the morning. Just come down pretty stealthy. You don't even have to be in the woods. And hopefully you can get there early enough. But you take the risk of bumping deer. But then again, that's what hunting's about. It's supposed to be risk-taking. So, anyway, you can see some of that snow, leftover snow, and that's pretty cool. Well, let's get up here and see what we can see. Yeah, there's your cover scent right there. Brought to you by Daisy the cow. Boy, what did I do to be hunting tonight? But first things first, it's a never-ending challenge. Those beans, black locust, those bean pods are really desired by the deer, especially in the late season. They may be brown like your Cheerios or something, but look at the deer track on this trail. Oh my God. And I don't know, generally it could be does, but where the girls are, the boys aren't far behind. Right up there. Oh, that's about, that old stand is about 10 yards away. The northeast wind would be taking your scent that way. This would all be clear air, and they don't even, with that backdrop of that cedar tree, they don't even know you're in Clark County. Now, what I'm going to do here is pretty important to me, because last year the deer had changed their travel pattern for some reason. So I moved up here, and they were down here traveling. I see bucks in behind me traveling east and west on this trail that's out in front of me. So that's what I'm doing a recon for today, is to see at this trail, and it's still being used, which is a good thing. You can see the deer hoof prints on there. Lots of deer hoof prints. I don't see any cattle track in there. That even makes it better. So as I pan around here, you can see I left that stand. Yeah, I left that stand. I just unhooked it and took the strap out. Now all I got to do is climb up there and put the strap on and hook the stand on it, and it's ready to hunt. That way I didn't have to pack the stand clear back in there. Pretty hard to get back down in here. But the stand's already here. I just took the strapping off, and now I just put the strap on and hang it on. The lone wolf stand. And emphasize, I love cedar trees because of the backdrop. And there again, if I'm sitting here and that wind's coming out of the north or northeast, I got the wind in my face, and the deer are traveling east and west. There you go, a tip for you. That probably didn't take 2 minutes to hang that stand. That's the nice thing about lone wolf. They're aluminum. They're not going to rot. They're not going to rust. And they'll be waiting for you next year. And you just take the strapping off so it doesn't rot. And then carry it with you, and that's all you got to carry in. Just a helpful hint, especially if you're in the deep bush. Why take that in and out when you can just hang it in a tree? Nature will take care of it for you. We got one more stand to go check out, and I filmed a lot of deer out of there last year, and there again it's in another cedar tree, and we'll get it checked out and see if there's any rubs up there. By the way, that stand, it's about 12-15 feet up in the air. Doesn't need to be overly high. And the other thing, we're on a hill, so the elevation down at the bottom is probably 5 feet lower, so it's probably 17 feet higher than that trail. Here's where those deer are going. They travel from that cornfield that now is over 1/4 mile away. If they venture up through here, and there's things to watch for. See the old fence? They're not going to go over that fence, but they'll go right along that fence. You can see the old fence post. Well, the trail's right in here. And so they just parallel that fence, and that way they don't have to jump it. And there's the trail, and that's the same trail. Now what the deer like to do, especially on a southwest wind, which unfortunately is not too cool, but if you have a southwest wind in the morning, and then you pay attention to the wind, and it changes in the evening, A lot of times those deer love to go up here and bed down, and the wind would be coming over their back. And then in the evening they get up and feed out. So let's get up here to this other stand. But this is cool. I'll get over here and show you. Well, there's the main trail, and I don't know if that's a rub or not. It's been an old rub, that's for sure. But we don't have to go too far. That rub there, and we venture on down here the main trail. Now keep in mind, this is where we found that matching 10-point set. There's that rub. Now getting a little more serious. Nice size rub, traditional rub. I believe I found that rub right there in 2007, and I shot a deer off of that 2 days later after I hung a stand. But that, you can tell that's a traditional rub. And we're venturing down here, and this is the same. I keep emphasizing this is exactly where I found that matching 10-point set, the last matching 10-point set I found this spring. I can't remember the date, but I'll get to where I can't remember my name. Anyhow, there's my old trusty tree stand. Now, with that said, I got new straps that I'll carry in here. I don't have them with me today, and put new strapping on there because that's been on there for a year, and I didn't take that one off. But let's venture down here and see if that tree is still being rubbed. It should be in here. Oh, right here it was. They haven't rubbed this tree yet. No. Nope. They haven't rubbed that tree. Because that tree, if you remember last year, I don't know how many bucks rubbed that. And the stand was right back there in that cedar tree. A little disappointed that there wasn't any new rubbing on that, but that's what you scout for. This place will come alive in the next 2 weeks. I can guarantee you that. But one farmer did plant a different corn crop, and so crop rotation you have to take in consideration. It can move the deer around. Yes, I'm coming around here. There's that diversion right there. Now that's where the deer can split, and it can get real tricky in here. When I go in here, I definitely have cow shit on, because them deer can split and go downwind of me, because right there is my cedar tree. So it's always a give and take. If you notice again, your silhouette is completely covered up from behind with that. Well, that's definitely going to put a wrap on it. I got other things to do. Still got a few hours of daylight. But just keep in mind, they're not your deer. They're the people's deer, even though they traverse across your real estate. And the other thing, it's not your right to hunt deer. It's your privilege. And you can lose that privilege at any time for a violation, a game violation. And thank God it's not your right, because when it was your right, they killed all the animals off. Until people like Aldo Leopold stepped up and said, hey, we got to have some kind of conservation commission and have a hunting season, not 365 days of killing season. So take it, leave it or like it. That's it from the Non-Typical on a scouting trip.